live. We are bad doggies.
Jude's having a fit.
Did you eat it?
We are recording. What did Jude eat?
I think he ate off.
The tail's still there.
All right. We are live and recording, by the way.
There you go. Jude.
And
That horrible puppy.
here we go.
Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
Andy Brant Bernard.
And Kristen Burt.
and Kristen Burt. Entertainment news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. A really weird thing happened today, Kristen, and I don't know what it's all about, but I went to bed last night. I slept for 9 hours last night, which I haven't done in years.
That's a good snooze.
Yeah, I don't do that often.
The weird thing is, I dreamt the entire night of starting not a third party, but a third organization kind of in the middle. I dreamt about it all night long.
I would prefer you didn't.
It's going to be called the K Party, and I figured, why would I call it the K Party?
Ketamine.
Nope. K is one of the two letters, K and L, right between D for Democrat and R for Republican. I don't know how that even came up in my brain. But on a night when I dreamt all night about bringing people together because people are too mean to one another and people hurt one another with their speech and their political views. And that's what I dreamt of all night. But I slept really well. And I get up this morning and I find out, as a nice Catholic boy from Minneapolis, 20 people, they said, were hurt. 20,
at least 20 were wounded, and we don't know the death toll yet, apparently.
Alex has a direct.
Moby in the chat says Channel 4 just said 2 dead, 7 in critical condition. So it's 2 dead plus the shooter. The shooter is dead.
There's 3 dead.
If you weren't aware.
No, I wasn't aware. I didn't know that they had.
Yep, they got him pretty quick. But
was he shot in the shooting, or
I don't
did the cops get him?
I don't think they know that yet.
Yeah, maybe not.
Dave is going to be looking into it during the show.
Yeah,
he might be able to get more.
Unbelievable, I'm telling you, right outside of school.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. This again, Kristen, in the past, I believe 7 days, this is the 7th person that's opened fire on someone. Who else? How many?
Well, just this summer, in the spring, there was a graduation at Mariucci Arena, and somebody opened fire there. And there was another graduation in Edina where somebody opened fire. It's getting
downtown.
Well, it's not getting. It has been out of control for a long time, and you know what the response for our lovely politicians are? To encrypt the police calls.
Yep.
So nobody can find out about anything.
You believe that?
Till they can spin it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's let's see. There was another one in South Minneapolis yesterday at a high school.
Isn't that no?
No, that yesterday.
The one that was today, or was it today?
Annunciation.
It was this
That was Annunciation. This one was at Cristo Rey High School.
Cristo Rey High School.
And then 800 block of Hennepin Avenue around 2 a.m. yesterday. East 27th and 3rd Avenue South. Yeah, Minneapolis is doing great.
So 5 shootings in
at least 4.
At least 4, and I think there's another one in one day. Is that correct?
Roughly 24-hour period.
24-hour period, yes. I don't know.
Yeah, and all we get is dancing politicians telling us how crime is down.
Yep, everything's just fine. Don't worry about it.
And screaming about the other side constantly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Crime is down, but the other side is also making crime go up. It's makes you think.
Well, and I'll give you another example. Just yesterday, and it has nothing to do with the fact they're Democrat, Republican, whatever, but our governor went on national television, and what did he say about?
Oh God, he said all sorts of horrible things.
Horrible things about people, especially. Well, he hates Trump. I mean, that's his deal, whatever. But he was swearing the whole time he did his speech.
But yeah, he said stuff like, "It must be so easy to be a Republican because all you need to do is you don't need to pick out clothes. You just wear your MAGA hat, and you don't need to think. You just do whatever Trump says." And it's like he was just basically saying the most hateful things toward Republicans I think I've ever heard a politician say. There's a lot of hateful politician stuff out there, obviously. That's kind of all there is. But the way he was talking about Republicans, I think, was basically the worst it has been. He was dehumanizing 50% of the country.
He literally, while he was on national broadcast, referred to somebody as an asshole. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
he's been swearing a lot during these two.
He is 100% unhinged.
Yeah, he is nuts.
Well, he's just trying to do what Newsom's doing, being like that loud jackass, but he's not.
No, it's not.
I mean, I'm not going to say Newsom's good at it either, because no one is. Trump and Newsom are both very bad at it, and they should probably go to bed, Grandpa.
Well, it's too, you know what it is? Newsom can play Trump's game because it's two narcissists going up against each other.
Exactly.
And
But
that's why
Wallace
I
is
think
like-
that's an even match, but Waltz
Right.
is not an even match.
Wallace is trying way too hard to do what Newsom is doing, but he's just not good at it.
Yeah.
He's not a narcissist. He's just a dope.
But really, at the end of the day, it's like, why we shouldn't have to walk out in public worrying about a mass shooting. And that
No.
any city I go to, that is a possibility. You know what I mean? It's not just, okay, it's not just in a city too, I should say. You know, we've seen this in rural areas where it's happened at schools and things like that. Like Uvalde is a great example of that. I mean, it's sad.
Well, Alex's, there's a dance studio that Fawn used to attend, and they were moving to a place, and they're in the mall. There had been a shooting there
Yeah, somebody had been shot and killed at a restaurant in the mall.
in the mall.
Terrible.
I mean, it's just, it really has gotten to be, it's not just the bad areas, which, why don't people care about the bad areas and the people being
I
shot in the
know.
bad
Yeah, you're right.
areas? It
Everyone deserves a right to be able to walk down the street.
and to be able to go to school and get a decent education and have it not be a political football. I mean, that's
Right.
just how it should be. And the fact that they can't even provide basic human services, it's just mind-boggling how anybody can be pro that. It doesn't make any sense.
Opening fire.
Mom, can you adjust your mic? It's
No,
not
I saw it flip.
I think
You're
let's
right.
go over.
It flipped.
It flipped.
Sorry.
Jude might have wrecked everything.
Oh yeah,
As usual.
Jude's on a rant today.
You know, what's interesting about this, Kristen, is I grew up, you know, like it was just voted again the worst neighborhood in the entire Midwest, North Minneapolis. And I do not remember one time when I was in kindergarten through sixth grade, I was going to St. Joseph's, which is right on, one block off Plymouth Avenue. It was one block off from Plymouth Avenue. They tore the church and the school down now. But I don't remember any of this happening until I was in junior high school.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
It probably did. Did they not report it as much back in the day, Kristen?
Well, you would have had to pay attention to the news and like read newspapers and stuff.
Well, that would be Toots, though. She was all over
There you
the
go.
But
So how-
everybody paid attention to their newspaper. Like that we had a morning paper delivered and an afternoon paper delivered at our
Well,
house.
not when you were in high school.
I don't know.
I don't
Chuck-
know when the two editions.
Well, no, I'm saying when
Faded
you were in
away.
high school, you probably didn't pay attention to the news
Oh,
that much.
I did. I read news every day. Like I woke up and I would sit reading the Boston Globe over at breakfast.
Really?
I love because I love to read and I
That's
love news. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, we got a few
Interesting.
things. Dave says that the encryption was actually pushed by the law enforcement because it lets them use plain language while they're speaking on the radio instead of having to code everything, which
Oh.
makes response times take longer because it's like, oh yeah, what's a 1097
Yeah.
again or whatever.
Okay.
Apparently the shooter killed himself or themself. I don't even know if it's a man or a
Oh, he
woman
did
yet.
kill himself?
So yes, the shooter died by suicide, as is the new way to phrase that.
Mhm.
And then Charlie says Albuquerque, 5 students in 3 high schools were all caught with guns, all unrelated incidents.
Oh, my God.
This is what happens when you ignore crime,
Yeah, that
because
is
it makes
true.
your numbers look a lot better when you don't, actually convict anyone, but it means that there's more crime.
Wasn't there years and years ago, thinking back, wasn't there schools that all of a sudden had to have metal detectors and
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
was
Oh, yeah.
against
I
that
remember that,
because
yeah.
they were like, this is just assuming that students are armed and assuming that all students are bad. And I mean, it got so bad at one point. And what was that? Like the 70s, maybe?
Yeah.
Where they had to have metal
I remember metal
detectors.
detectors in schools when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, what people don't know is that the 90s, as idealized as it was the height of homicide in America.
No question.
Hmm.
No
There
doubt
was a
about
lot, and it was mostly, I would say probably 70% at least driven by gang violence. gangs were a huge problem in the 90s, and that's why they did that then.
I had a classmate at St. Joe's. First name was John. I won't say his whole name. Although
Denver.
Yeah, John Denver. That's who it was. But he bought a fourplex right across the street from St. Joe's School later on in life, and he was so this would have been the mid 60s, I guess. It'd have been it'd be later than that, probably the late 60s. He bought a fourplex, and he was all proud of that. It was right across the street from the school he went to, and he just loved it, and all he did was talk about it. I knew the guy for 6 years before, well, no, longer than that, but I guess about 18 years. So he fixed them all up and all the rest of it. And then he got the other 3 units, he got renters. Well, he found out he didn't like renters, so he killed everybody in the building, including himself.
What?
I will never forget that as long as I live.
Whoa, that's
Killed
scary.
everyone in the building and then killed himself because it didn't go the way he wanted it to.
That doesn't. Oh.
Isn't that just amazing?
Can I address Alan, who says, what are you going to do to take away everyone's gun rights, Kristen? I believe in your right to have a gun, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't
know.
know. I never said that. So I just want to make sure that that's very clear.
Well,
and especially here in LA, I just want to say a lot of people are gun owners, celebrities, people, there's been a lot of home invasions. A lot of people own guns. And I think that that's absolutely their right. And I would never want someone's Second Amendment rights taken away like that. So just to clarify.
Just to clarify.
No
Just to
question.
clarify.
What happened?
One of Fawn's dance teammates was at this, goes to the school where it happened, and her mom text messaged all of us and said that I'm just going to probably start crying.
Oh.
No? Okay.
Is her daughter okay, though?
Spoiler alert, she didn't die.
Yes, she's fine.
I know that's what
Okay.
A lot of people were
Very,
expecting
very
to hear.
traumatizing, to say the least. To say the least. I mean, I don't know where we go. I just don't know what.
Crime crackdown, that's all it is. Any kid, any felon caught with a gun, I think you just have to put them away forever at this point. You have to go full, what's the guy's name? Bukele, that everyone hates so much, that cleaned up that one country. Was it El Salvador?
Yeah.
I think honestly, in some cities, that's where we're at. We have to go El Salvador time.
Look, it's gotten so bad. In the UK, there was a girl in a park who had been harassed by people in the park.
Mhm.
And she took out a big knife and a hatchet. And she's like, "Get away from me." And she was swearing it. She was like, and somebody was filming her. She has now been charged for having weapons. And the whole country is, I'm telling you, the UK is a powder keg because of all those rape gangs.
Oh,
the rape
absolutely.
gangs and all these tens of thousands of girls that have been affected. And the politicians just sweeping it under the rug because they don't want to admit what's going on in their own country. And now, it's gotten to the point where girls are carrying around weaponry so that they can be left alone in a park.
Mm-hmm.
This is not whatever is going on, whatever the officials and the global elitists and stuff have planned, it's got to change. And then Trump does something like goes to Washington and gets the National Guard going on to clean it up and hopefully try to stop crime. And everybody throws a big fit because of that. What is the answer?
Yeah.
It isn't just, a few more cops at this place in time isn't enough, in my opinion. I think everything's gone so rogue and so crazy.
Dave just made a really good point at who you elect as judges and county attorneys. And I will tell you that when you get to your local, when it comes to local voting, people don't do their research at all because, you're like, I know who to vote for president or senator, that type of thing. Yep. And then everyone skips over a lot of the judges and the county attorneys. And I would say here in California, this was a really good example. We used to have an attorney general who was a Democrat. We're here in California, so that, you automatically think that. And it was a mess. And we finally, I didn't vote for him because I knew he was the one that was like, $1,000, you can steal up to $1,000. That's where we're doing all the smash and grabs.
Oh, that's right.
When we had our recent election, I was
Yep.
like, yes, let's vote this. He's a Republican attorney general, but he is actually starting to clean things up. And we have to stop voting. Like, I'm just only going to vote for this party or this party. Who is the candidate that is actually going to make a difference? And that's what you have to start locally and start doing your research if you want to make a difference on what happens on your street and in your neighborhood.
I
Dave's
totally
great
agree
point.
with you, but judges don't have a political affiliation next to their name. You don't know, if you don't research every judge.
You have to
And
research
you
them.
have to research to make a difference in your local politics.
Well, on our ballots, a lot of times there's no other judge to vote for.
That's what
There's one
Howard
judge.
just said.
That's what he
90%
just
of the
said.
time, there's no opponent for the sitting
Yeah.
judge.
Right.
The sitting
Yep.
judges are basically immortal.
And the sitting judges are also financed by great big huge
Yep.
groups like George Soros. And that's why we get them. I
Yep.
mean, it's true. It's been
Well, that was mostly DAs, I
traced
think,
back.
wasn't it?
and judges.
One thing I did dream about again overnight. This is just a weird coincidence because I had a great night's sleep. It wasn't I was all flustered or whatever. I just wish people would understand, particularly our politicians. And I'm not talking about either party. It's both parties. The second you disagree with my political affiliation, I will do something to harm you. Our politicians do that way too much. I mean, way too much.
Well, we're now at a point they're not representing the greater United States.
That's correct.
No,
They are
not.
both parties are representing their bank accounts. So that's the thing. Like, what do we do collectively? Because I think at the core, no matter what party you subscribe to, at the end of the day, I think we all want the basic same things in
That'd be
terms of
good.
like
Yep.
a roof over your head, money in your bank accounts, the ability to retire, healthcare.
Yeah, it's not so unaffordable that you can't even
Right.
Right.
save any money.
No,
Right.
it's just honestly, God, it's just I couldn't. A lot of coincidences today with my night's sleep, and I wake up and this is the first thing I see, and I was dreaming all night about we have got to stop harming people's businesses, their lives, their school, whatever, just because they don't agree with you. For you to go after them personally like that is way out of line.
If you don't
Yeah,
like
for
someone's
sure.
business practices, just don't frequent their business. I think that,
Yeah.
and do it quietly. You don't need to like raise a
I
ruckus
agree.
online.
No, I agree 100%. This coming out and harming people and hurting their business because they won't agree with you has got to stop. Because a lot of this violence, it's all about money, really, don't you think?
Everything's about money. Yeah.
Everything's about money.
It is. Well,
Right.
I mean, we're looking at billionaires on both sides, like controlling the situation. And it's, talk to the person that's making, what's the national minimum wage? $7.25? $7.25. Can you imagine making $7.25 an hour?
Oh, yeah. Be a little harmful.
It's really, really scary.
Federal minimum wage $7.25, yes. But
Yeah.
what is the lowest state minimum? Because state minimum wages override the federal, I believe.
Yes, they do. California, we're at, I think it's like 18 or 19.
God.
Yeah.
Let's
Fun.
see.
While you're looking for that, Kristen, it's your fault. Alex had to get up and leave. Way to go.
No, it isn't. Don't you say?
That's gonna be a
Oh.
really tough morning with
Oh, it is.
I mean, kids between preschool and what, 8th grade, I think it is. That's
Okay. Well, I
Yep.
mean, look at this. I mean, she's out of the room, so I'm
You
not
should
going to
probably
talk
close the
about
door
her.
because the kids are out
But I
there
mean,
and don't
you know,
about
Well, she
this.
should have closed the
Hello.
door.
But
Yeah,
I'm
she
just
should.
saying, here, you have to take into account your daughter's dance studio having that going on, her dance friends. It's witnessing
sports
kind
teams,
of thing.
anything. Yeah.
I mean, this is 2 times in Fawn's only 9
Yeah.
where this kind of thing has happened to people. Or
Well, how old was I
Okay.
when Columbine happened? Like 3? It was.
Might be about right.
How old was? Oh no, that was 1999. So I was I was 12. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, this has been. It's just like a fact of life is that there are
But I feel like, I don't know.
crazy people out there, and
To me, it just like this is the closest it's ever been
yeah.
because
Mhm.
Well,
I
'cause you knew somebody there.
like-
Yeah.
It hits
Right.
home. It hits home because it becomes a personal story. I think that's
Yeah.
you know, because we constantly watch the news and you think that won't happen here. Not that you don't think it won't happen here, but in your head, you're like, it's so far away and removed. You can have empathy and think that's a really sad situation. But then when it hits someone you know, hits in your neighborhood, friends, family, that's when it really becomes smack dab real.
That's why our childhoods were basically shaped by the Jacob Wetterling thing.
Yes,
because it happened not very far away from where we were.
That's true.
And it happened in a small town in Minnesota to kids roughly our age,
unheard
or a
of
kid roughly our age.
Unheard of.
Yeah, and everyone was just like, "Oh, well, now it's in my town," so everyone was expecting it to happen again to them.
Well, and you just think when something like that happens, I mean, it turned out that it was just some local farmer.
Local farmer.
I mean, but when something like that happens, you think it's got to be some sort of maniac that's running around and he's going to keep on snatching children. You
Farmers can be maniacs.
Well, I know, but you just don't think that a local guy, and they had checked him out. And that was the other thing. They'd never found who did it for
It took a long time.
25 years or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a terribly long time.
Don't you think, though, all of you, that our politicians and our leaders and our big shots have got to stop? I mean, I have seen people go after people, calling them racist, calling them homophobes. They knew it wasn't true, but they say the worst things about people they possibly can to try to hurt them. That has got to stop.
Oh, we've talked about that for years and years and years. How when you call everybody a name just because they disagree with you, the name starts losing its power.
But I don't know if it does for younger people.
I don't think people are giving a shit anymore.
No, I don't think they are.
I think everyone's just done worrying about what everybody's calling them.
Do we have any idea why this? I think it's a young man who did this.
It usually takes a little bit of time to figure out who it was, and then look into and look into
a manifesto.
Yeah, like it's usually on his Facebook page. He was posting pictures of himself with guns for years and talking about how he was going to kill people constantly, and nobody cared.
Been in prison 1,000 times.
Oh, Chris
There's
Eggert.
an update. Chris Eggert.
We just confirmed 6 children involved in the Annunciation Church shooting are being treated at Children's Hospital in Minneapolis. 6 children.
Well, being treated is a good sign.
Well, yeah,
that is a good sign. But there so far 3 dead and no more. It's still just 3 dead. Well, I shouldn't say just.
I would say 2
I think
because
it's 3 adults. All the children were in mass.
Yeah,
right.
So someone targeted in mass, which to me says things, but I'm not allowed to speculate, and I also don't like to speculate. So even if I could, I would not.
I think the thing that just is heartbreaking is that this alters the lives of all of those kids that were in that church in that moment. That's
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Well, that's the idea. This was terrorism, and they are now in terror. There you go. They accomplished their goal.
This school and church is like 2 blocks away from where Dan used to live.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's
it
right.
is.
It's right there.
Yeah, and it's like it's a nice neighborhood. It's not like it's in a scary part of Minneapolis. It's a very nice area, like very quiet, very peaceful. I used to run around there all the time. And just I don't know. It's like finding out information about who did it and kind of why. I feel like seems to help people understand that it was just like a maniac that went rogue, but then it's like it seems to be happening all the time.
right.
Among you and all our listeners too, do you think this was an anti-Catholic thing?
I personally do.
I mean, it could have been, or it could have just been like some guy that was like, here's a school and they're all in one area at this time. And
once again,
if I want to hurt as many people as possible, this is a great way to do it. Like it could have been, I don't know.
Well, if you look, I mean, this is unrelated, kind of, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's related. Worldwide, Christians and Catholics are being murdered at a pretty high rate. It's very scary. They're being eliminated in some areas.
Jews and Catholics.
It's just,
I don't know. Still, once again, you don't believe what I believe, so I think I'll kill you. What? We have different lives. We didn't all grow up the same. We were not all treated the same.
Well, when you have local leaders telling you that 50% of your countrymen are out to get you because their hearts are so full of hate, and maybe if they weren't around anymore, your life wouldn't be so hard.
Dave, wondering what medication the shooter was on, and that's like,
I can tell you.
It's shown. It's so much. All these people are on anti-anxiety medications, antidepressant medications, antipsychotic. Like it's constant.
It's like 90% of them, I think. Maybe more.
It just says listener. Is that all it said?
Yeah, I don't know if this listener, the person who just said that, you look good without a hat.
Yeah.
Did you call yourself listener, or is that like a default name? I'm always curious when I see that.
Oh,
But it's very sweet, trying to sweeten the moment and being very listener. That's very sweet of you, and I know you're trying to lighten the load here a bit, but it's just so sad that our children have to go through this. We're adults. Why don't we handle adult problems on the adult level and leave the children alone? What do you say?
I don't know, because they're the easiest targets, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Most vulnerable people.
I guess that's true.
Well, that's the thing. Schools and churches are soft targets because they're usually no gun zones, and no one can fight back. Who posted that one? Over medication is a huge problem. Yes, it is. It's been a huge problem for 30 years.
Does that say Moby Pete?
Moby Pete.
Moby
Well,
Pete. I like Moby Pete.
There was a statistic that was released not too long ago about how many women are on antidepressants.
Yeah, it's
it's
like 2/3 of them or something.
Staggering amount of women.
Yeah, it's insane.
Are on meds.
Yeah, it's wild.
We are extremely over medicated in this country.
Listener says he or she calls themselves.
You called yourself
that.
listener. All right. So you're the mysterious
Okay. It's not a
listener.
default.
Got
That's
it.
fine. Listeners.
25% of American women between 40 and 50 use SSRIs. Just American women between 40 and 50.
And that's also just SSRIs.
And that's there's also SSDIs, I think, and there's
all
25
different things.
25%, a quarter of middle-aged American women are on an SSRI.
I think that's because I'm going to say hormonally, that's become a big treatment for people in perimenopause and menopause.
Really?
SSRIs, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I was on SSRIs for a long time. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I don't know.
Like
I was prescribed SSRIs because I had panic attacks in late high school and early college. And I was like, nope, I'm just going to figure out how to help myself through this. And I never took them.
Well, I went in for a checkup right after my father died. And she says, so how's your life going? I said, well, my dad died. And she's like, oh, well, you need some SSRIs.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sad because my dad is dead.
Yeah.
Better take some meds.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't need to go on a pill because my dad died.
That's what
I'm
they
just
do.
going to work
be-
through the grief.
It's okay to be sad.
Yeah, it's okay to be sad when your dad dies.
I feel like that's kind of the thing that a lot of people deal with. They're like, I don't want any uncomfortable feelings.
Can't ever feel sad ever. Got to be happy all the time.
I don't want any uncomfortable feelings. I don't want to deal with them ever. And it's just like
that's just
uncomfortable
not
feelings
life.
are part of your day every day, and you have to be able to manage them.
All right, Kristen has to go in a couple of minutes, but I got to tell you a very quick story, Kristen. It's just all the stuff is it's just such a coincidence. I was thinking about this very thing before I went to bed last night, that we've got to cut back on the bad mouthing and harming other people. I didn't know all this was going to go on. I'm just talking about verbally doing it. But, she was talking about missing her father, and her father was a really great guy. He really was. But I remember I had just met Catherine. How long after I met you did my father die? A couple of months? Because you actually met him.
I would say it was, maybe 8 months, something like that.
Was it 8 months, something like that? But we got the call that my father had died, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. The first time I saw him in a long time was when Catherine went over there with me. And I just remember how things affect your life differently. And I didn't really even mean this to be as harsh as it sounded. But I was standing out in the hallway, kind of looking down the hall, thinking about it, because he was only 60 when he died. And my mother, who hadn't been with him in years, but she was a big-time Roman Catholic, even though he was Baptist, my mother, even though she hadn't seen him in years, sent a Catholic priest over to, bless him and do all that stuff, and which was, I think, very sweet.
It is very sweet. It's thoughtful.
She did not care for the man, but that was the whole deal. I'm thinking about my mother sending over the Catholic priest and all the rest of it. And I'm out in the hallway, and the priest came out. He said, Tom, it was really nice that your mother sent me over here. I know he's not a Catholic, but sorry to hear about your dad dying. And I paused, and I didn't mean it as harsh as it sounded. I said, yeah, he probably had it coming. He ran away from me.
He's like, bye.
Never
Don't give me the family drama.
I didn't mean it to be that harsh, but I guess that is pretty hard.
Well, and it's like when my dad died, it was like time for him to go.
It
was
was time
time
for him.
for-
It was time for him to go.
I was actually kind of happy for him because he was
Yeah.
living a miserable life. So I was like, and then you don't want to say to the doctor, I don't
Thank
need antidepressants because thank God he's dead.
Exactly.
I didn't, just like, you don't even know the situation, lady.
Oh, yeah, Melissa and I would go over there every week, and he would just be sitting there in a stupor in his chair. He couldn't watch TV because he was blind. He could barely talk to you because he was deaf.
I know.
He was barely conscious because of all the meds he was on. And it's like, I would never want to live like that.
94 when he died, yeah.
Wow.
So, well, Kristen, thank you. I'm glad that you were here, actually, a news person that you didn't really get to report on your news stuff, but you were here. And the second I looked at the screen and went, uh-oh, she knows about this.
I know. I figured we were going to be talking about Taylor Swift. And
I know that was the big news yesterday.
Well, do you want to talk about, do you want to close with talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift?
Or do you want to leave that for tomorrow?
I mean, we can leave it for tomorrow, but for anyone who didn't get yesterday's breaking news, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged, and we can get into depth about that tomorrow.
Fawn showed me a video of Alex breaking the news to Fawn.
I can play the audio.
Oh, you should play the audio.
Hilarious.
Fawn, okay.
Fawn's just looking at her like.
Just to preface, I've never been either here nor there about Taylor Swift. I'm like, you like her, great.
Yeah, I'm ambivalent.
I'll listen to the songs, but I'm not going to seek them out. Like, I'm not going to go to her concert, whatever. If somebody was like, will you come to the concert with me? I'd be like, sure. Why not? I'm sure she puts on a good show. But Fawn, I've never shared my opinion with Taylor Swift about Fawn because I'm like, maybe she'd love Taylor Swift. Most young girls do. She does not like Taylor Swift. And so I took a video because there's all these videos on Instagram of adult women freaking out over the fact that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. So I took a video of, hang on. Taylor's. Did you hear the big news?
What?
Taylor Swift is engaged.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about how I would react too.
Completely underwhelmed.
She just stared at me and was like,
Okay.
And then after I left, I went, I really don't care.
That is funny. That probably the only kid in America who was like, and next.
Exactly. I was like, I have to take a video of her reaction because every other little kid is like probably so excited.
So excited. Oh my God. You know, I will say this just as kind of a little footnote to that. Within seconds of that engagement being announced, every jewelry publicist in, the United States had sent me a pitch talking about her engagement ring. I mean, a lot of these people already had something set to go, like talk to our jewelry expert, blah, blah, blah. And they have not stopped because now people are like, what type of venue are they going to get married in? What kind of wedding dress? I'm thinking, can you please get married tomorrow? Because I can't take 6 months, a year of like
absolutely.
Taylor Swift and Travis
for all it's worth.
Well, and I just feel like every single thing she does to me as an outsider that's not attached to it at all, everything feels like a big publicity stunt. Because I'm like,
it's performative.
Yeah, I'm like 2 weeks ago, she was on his podcast and announced her new album. And then all of a sudden now they're getting engaged after she took a break from her tour. And I'm just like, you guys.
Not an organic love story.
No, I'm like, this is all very
they both the thing is, this is not a PR marriage. Like, I genuinely believe that they are two people in love, but they're two people who also genuinely love PR, and collectively they're going to be a PR couple, if that makes sense. Different than like a fake stage romance.
They're not going to do anything unless they get cash.
100%. And they were engaged 2 weeks ago, and it's the whole thing. Yeah, all that's orchestrated. That rollout.
My favorite post I saw about it was like, this prenup is about to be way longer than any book Travis Kelce's ever read.
That's probably true.
That's a good one.
Probably true.
That's a good one.
The good thing he has some money. Like, that's the good thing, because if he were, a guy earning $75,000 a year and she's a billionaire, that would be really scary.
Don't you wish that these money pukes would, do something with their money, like give it to somebody?
Taylor Swift donates a ton of money to a ton of great causes. Every single city that she tours in, she donates a certain amount of the ticket sales to causes to help that city. She's
that's good.
I think Taylor Swift is like, I'm not anti Taylor Swift by any means. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. She's not my favorite musician by any means. I will say, usually every natural disaster in the U.S., there's $1 million donation coming from Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So she's about that.
She's a responsible and like she seems to like care.
Well, that's good.
It doesn't seem like she's
her dancers, her crew on that tour, they all made bonuses that were they got 2 rounds of bonuses that were in the 6 figures after they did the Eras tour.
God, just like radio.
And one trucker said, he goes, I was able to make the phone call home telling my kids that I could pay for their college. And I thought that gave me chills. So
That's nice.
that is doing right by the people who work very hard for you. And she does provide all of her musicians with full-time, year-round healthcare, which most musicians do not for their bands.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is all true.
All right.
Kristen, Bert, have a magnificent day, and we look forward to talking tomorrow, hopefully with some good news.
Yeah.
I hope so. Let's just talk something fluffy tomorrow.
Yeah.
That sounds
Palate
good.
cleanse.
Well, quickly before we go to break, we got a text from a listener named Neil. Said, speaking of dreams, I had one last night that he won a contest, and Tom and Fancy Ray took him to a skate park.
Honestly,
Fancy Ray.
I'm out.
Fancy Ray, Tom at a skate
Wow, we should
park.
get
That's
Fancy
quite an
Ray
honor,
back on
actually.
here.
Kristen's like,
Why
bye-bye.
not? Yeah, Kristen's
Kristen's
like,
like,
I
I
have
gotta
nothing
go.
to say about
Fancy
that.
Ray.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We'll take a break. Be right back. Another great guest coming up. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Allie?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Pete Wolf, owner of Robinson Rubber of Robbinsdale.
I partnered with North American Banking Company because I was able to talk to the president, and I know they have my back. They are much easier to talk to than those larger banks. The openness and flexibility has been the best part of banking with North American Banking Company. They understand small to medium businesses. No matter what part of the bank I am working with, North American Banking Company has the latest technology and friendly staff. I would absolutely recommend North American Banking Company to any of my closest colleagues if they want to have peace of mind in their business.
So why not bank where I bank, with my friends at North American Banking Company? To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabanco.com. That's nabanco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Alex, I'm guessing your children are having fun because they're out there chirping up a storm.
Yeah.
Chirping.
Well, that's a good thing. Right? We could use a little happiness in the house, no question about it.
Speaking of happiness in the house.
Speaking of happiness on just being on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Vinny, I love the fact that you're on today. I don't know if you picked up on the national news, what happened here. Was that first thing this morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened at like 8 something.
8 something. There was what looks like maybe not a mass shooting, because it looks like at least 20 people were injured. Several of them are dead. So, Vinny, you got a big job trying to cheer us up this morning. I'll tell you that.
Well, I got to tell you, Tom, I was enjoying listening to Kristen. And it's like, well, they could just keep me in the back here. I just keep listening. She's good. It's every time, and let's see, God, it's too early. We never have the big shootings, right? Was it a school shooting? What kind of shooting was it?
But it was a mass during a mass at a children's Catholic school.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Every time this happens, I'm going to name drop right from the get go here. I was and have been good friends with Howie Mandel, the comedian, for a lot of years.
Sure. Yep.
And Howie and I were together. I want to say it was might have been Sandy Hook or one of the big ones when it broke. And it's so horrible. And we looked at each other, and I think he said it first. He goes, "You know what? The only thing the news is going to say is AR-15s, guns, 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 guns," which, we could talk about that all day long, right?
Yeah.
No one's going to talk about mental health.
Right.
It won't even be brought up, right? And, when you go, well, come on, Vinny, guns are a problem. No, well, if a gun is sitting there, it's not a problem until someone with a mental problem picks it up. And you'll go, well, how do you know this guy had a mental problem, or woman? And I know they have a mental problem because they decided to shoot 20 fucking kids. That's how I know. Sorry for my language, but this really ticks me off to no end. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Where was it?
It was in South Minneapolis.
Yeah, like not 5 miles away from here.
Yeah, it's 54th and Garfield in South Minneapolis.
Any death? Anyone died?
Yeah.
2 children and an adult.
And the shooter, but no one cares about the shooters.
And that's so far. Who knows how many other people hopefully will not happen, but it could.
Yeah, there's kids in the hospital right now being treated. So I don't know how extensive the wounds are.
Well, and then how much of it is from bullet wounds and how much of it is from just like the chaos that ensued.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you can get a trample injury very easily in a situation like that.
And you can get smashed into something. You can,
that is true.
Do not mention, if you don't mind, don't mention the shooter's name, because I don't think you should put his name out there.
We don't know it yet, but no, I wouldn't.
Yep.
Do we know if it's motivated? You said Catholic school was this motivated by that?
We don't
know.
We probably won't for a very long time.
But he shot through the stained glass windows, apparently. So I'm guessing that it probably had something to do with that. I don't know.
It's solid bet is that that's what it was, but we can't.
So Andy, you had a statistic that 25% of middle-aged women are on SSRIs. How about men? Is there a statistic on how many men are on it?
Let's see.
Because I think men, when they're on SSRIs, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a study, are more likely to commit suicide. And I know that male suicide is way up.
Let's see. 11.3% of men in the U.S. are currently being treated or were at some point treated for depression. So that's a much broader statistic and a much smaller number.
Yeah.
It is.
So SSRIs are very much like a woman thing at this point. I mean, a lot of men are on them too, but women are significantly more likely to take them.
So that is that, Vinny. We just talked to Kristen about it for a long time. I wanted to bring it up to you if we got a weird look on our face. So unfortunately, it's on you, pal. You got to make us feel good.
All right. Well, let's go back to drug taking. If you want to feel good.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't mean to bring this show down even further, but you mentioned SSRIs. I have doctors, my podcast, I do 3 shows a week, and on Friday I bring luminaries in. And 8-10 years ago, these doctors were telling me, the average American, or not the average, but they have people that come to them on 5, 6, 7 drugs. A few years ago, I was hearing 10 medications per day, not just SSRIs, but across the board. And just last week, I had a doctor on, Dr. Kalajian, and up in New York, and he said, it's not uncommon to have people taking 20 medications per day, every day. 20. And I thought that was a bit
afraid
much.
to take Tylenol.
I know. I'm like,
it's not good for me. I don't know.
I know.
Well, I'm the same way. I'm turning 63 next month, and people, my buddies, when I go home, they'll go, "How many things are you on?" It's like 0, and they go, "You're not taking anything." It's like, "No," and they go, well, "How's that even possible?" It's like, and by the way, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and the only time I'm on medication is when they give me chemo. I'm not on anything because I'm not eating processed. I hate to sound like RFKJ, but I don't eat processed foods. I don't eat junk. I don't eat sugars, grains, anything. And I've been living like that my entire life. Ta-da, no drugs. So I was wondering about these 20 drugs. And I thought that was a lot. So I went
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
So I looked up the national average, and maybe your son back there, since he's pulling up stats, can pull up this stat. The stat I pulled up was the average person is on as many as 8 medications.
Ooh.
Now,
Are we talking prescription or just like any sort of pill?
Prescription, because the doctor is telling me this, so I'm going to go with prescription. So I looked up a number. I found average of 8. So if I'm on 0, that means some people are on 20, right? So if there's people on 0, that means there's people on 20 because you're coming up with almost half of them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
I got the average American from this site. I don't know how reliable it is, but I am getting 4 prescription medications per year on average.
Wow,
So
that's
it depends
still
on age
crazy.
group. I would bet once you get into the 60s and 70s, you're probably looking at 10.
I
on
remember
average.
we had a friend and he was telling me that he was on 15 drugs.
15 drugs.
Yeah, it was statins are a big one.
Oh yeah,
I don't
they give
believe-
everyone statins.
I don't believe in statins. Sorry. I just don't believe in them.
I was prescribed statins once because my high triglycerides,
I don't
and they
think,
made my legs hurt.
I don't think you should be on statins.
and I was
really
like-
don't.
I was like, this can't be good.
My
Okay,
grandfather
so-
died of hardening of the arteries when he was 92. So it's like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're going to die of something at 92. So
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
talk about statins. And by the way, for your audience, I'm not a doctor, but I've had more than enough of the top luminaries from around the world explain statins to me. Your son just said, Catherine, that they want to put him on a statin for triglycerides.
Yes.
Statins have no effect on triglycerides whatsoever. They will put people on statins for high blood sugar.
Yep.
There is nothing. A statin cannot do anything for high blood sugar. 0. Right? When you walk into a doctor's office, they will tell you statin. Okay, what's a triglyceride? A triglyceride, I'm going to put it simple for your audience so they don't have to do all the math. A triglyceride is a fat cell. The way a triglyceride is created is from a carbohydrate. So when you eat too many carbs, your body cannot use all of the sugar. Nobody's burning all the sugar from the carbohydrate. And since your body can only store fat, we have this very unique way of turning a sugar into a long chain triglyceride and storing it as a fat. Now, here's the deal. I work with a lot of morbidly obese people. Most of my practice is morbid obesity. I talk to people on day 1, before they start, triglycerides 600, 700, 800.
What?
Triglyceride.
Wow.
And within a couple of weeks, with no medication, we get them down to something reasonable, like 150. And then within several months, we get them down below 100, sometimes as low as 50. So when they go get their blood test, the doctor's going, what did you do to get your triglyceride down? They'll tell them diet, and the doctor just goes, right?
Well, triglycerides are a very transient thing. If you stop drinking tons of Coke and eating tons of cake and cookies, your triglycerides are going to go down, and they are going to go down quickly because triglycerides don't stay in your blood. They're there to either go into the fat cell or go out of the fat cell. That's why they're in there. They don't just stick around. So yeah, it makes sense. Stop eating sugar, triglycerides go away.
Well, and isn't cholesterol like good for you? And I mean, you're supposed
Certain
to have
kinds,
it, right? Yeah.
It's not like good for you. It's good for you.
There you go.
So let me give you the ups and downs on cholesterol. And again, non-medical, but this comes straight from doctors. Every cell in your body, every one, and we have trillions of them, kind of like the national debt, needs cholesterol to propagate, to survive. There is no link to high cholesterol total high cholesterol and heart disease. Zero. There is zero link. That's been a lie we've been told since Ansel Keys put that. Ansel Keys was kind of like an Anthony Fauci of his day. He was a that pushed things forward in the government. So every cell in your body needs cholesterol. Low incidence of cholesterol, higher incidence of all-cause mortality and cancer. That's a fact. There is no, you know how they say LDL is the quote bad cholesterol?
Yes, your happy cholesterol and your lousy cholesterol.
Right.
I never heard that one.
Yep.
Oh, I've heard that one. Also, I've always said LDL sounds like a gangster. Oh, LDL. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I knew I could get Tom to laugh on a day like today.
Thank God.
So we need LDLs as much as we need HDLs. Now, there is something to the ratio, but that ratio doesn't stop at HDL and LDL. It also includes triglycerides, right? So there's a ratio between the three. And if you have a good rate, you can have a total cholesterol of 500 and you will never have heart disease ever, period. End of story.
Alex.
Sage is asking what
Okay,
time
so
it is.
they keep on. Okay, so what I keep on hearing is that it's your risk of stroke is higher. Now they're off the heart attack. Now you're going to have a stroke if your cholesterol's high.
No, all right. So let me go back just a little bit. There is a cholesterol that could be problematic, and it's small, dense particles. So particle size matters, right? So you have different types of proteins within the fat. Cholesterol is a fatty acid. So you have ApoA and ApoB and all these different small, dense particles. Somewhere like 2 or 3% of the population worldwide has this type of particle. And for those people, a statin might be a good thing. Also, if you've had open heart surgery or a doctor has put stents in your heart, you have hardware in your heart.
Yep.
That's what statins were made for, because see, you've already cashed your chips in. They had to do work on your heart. Now you can have this calcification happening around those stents.
All right.
So now you have to take a drug with side effects called a statin that will actually help save your life. That's what they were invented for. They weren't meant for the everyman at all.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I remember, I think it was like 10, 15 years ago, hearing doctors say everyone in the world should be on a statin because there's no downsides and there's only possible upsides. So why not just everyone take one?
I remember after I hit 40, everybody I knew all of a sudden was on a statin.
Yeah, they were just literally saying everyone should be on a statin. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Yes. And that now every one of those doctors are going, you know what, we were wrong. We took the money from the drug companies. We said that and we were wrong. The side effects, the death, everything. Go look at, and don't even get me started on GLP-1s. We could go there next.
I was actually going to bring that up next.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone that's on a statin should question whether they're on a statin. So I'll tell you a quick story. When I first moved to Virginia, I had to get a new GP, general practitioner. So I go in and meet this woman, and she checks me out 12 ways to Sunday, and we do all these blood tests. And then she calls me a couple of days later. I'm driving in my car, and she goes, your test came back great. You have the blood of a 28-year-old, giving me all these glowing things that doctors say. And then her voice went down a level, and she goes, but there's a problem. I'm like, all right. She goes, your cholesterol was just a bit high. And I'm going to suggest that you go on and I'm quoting, light statin.
A light statin.
A light statin. And I was like, okay. I said, Doc, when you do blood work for cholesterol, shouldn't the person be fasted? And she goes, absolutely. And I said, no one told me I was taking a cholesterol test that morning and I wasn't fasted.
Triglycerides too. Yeah, non-fasting lipid panels are basically useless.
Oh, by the way, just to give you, my triglycerides that morning were 60 and I wasn't fasted because I don't eat carbohydrates. So if you just eat high fatty acid things, you won't go up. So she said, we need to get you on the statin, right? And I said, okay, I wasn't fasted, so the test really doesn't count. I said, just for asking, what was my total cholesterol? And she goes, your total was 187. I said, oh, interesting. I said, my LDL to HDL ratio, what was that? And she said, oh, your ratios were spot on. And I said, did you connect the ratios to the fact that I had a triglyceride of 60? And she goes, no, we don't do that. And I said, what was my ApoA and my ApoB? And she goes, we don't test for that.
There you go.
No, I've never seen those on a lipid panel before.
I said to her, I said, Doc, how about we just put a cast on my right arm? And she goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, let's cast it up. I could break it 5 years from now. So let's get a cast on it before I break it. And she said to me, I think you need to find another doctor. And I said to her, I made that decision 10 minutes ago. I was just having fun. I was just thinking I was a cat.
Shaking your chain.
You know, so you see, people who are not me, who don't have access to these top people in the world who understand this stuff,
Right.
they will just go, my doctor said I need to be on a statin.
Yeah,
Can you imagine have 187 total, perfect ratio, and she didn't even add the ratio in of the triglyceride, and she didn't do a small dense particle test, because the reason most doctors won't do that test is because they don't know how to read the test.
Oh.
You understand? Catherine, let me tell you something very interesting about when you go get blood work. We've all done blood work, right?
Sure.
And they give you a sheet of paper, or you can, they send it to you, my chart now, whatever.
Yep.
And it's red on both ends and it's green in the middle.
Right.
Right. And then there's a bunch of letters, they show you your bun, your bilirubin, your this, your that, all the way down the line. And if it's in the green area, you're fine. If it's in the red area on the left or the right, you need to go fix something. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You know as much as your doctor knows about that chart.
Oh.
They look at it the way you look at it. They don't really understand it. Not every general practitioner can understand bun and bilirubin and hematocrit levels and, just all of the different. Each doctor might know something along the way because that might be an interest. But unless you go to an endocrinologist or someone who specializes in blood, your GP is looking at it the same way you are. Hey, Catherine's in the green. I'm good. And by the way, whenever you're in the red, you know what they do? They Google that shit. The same thing you do.
It's true. Oh, God. I have actually watched a doctor Google something.
My GP told me that. She goes, we have no idea. When we see it either way, we go to the NIH or we go to PubMed or one of them, and we Google that shit. That was the word she told me.
Yeah, because no one can memorize like the hundreds of different things you can test your blood for. I mean, you could test it for every vitamin there is, every lipid there is. You can test cell numbers, and it's not possible to know all these things. So it's not really like a failing of doctors that this is the way. It's just how it is. And the problem is the people will see these things in the red zone, and instead of being like, let's check what this means, they'll just be like, it's in the red zone, we better do something about that.
Right.
Like my doctor, luckily, whenever I get my blood tested, my A1C comes back in the red zone low. And the first time I saw that, I was like, it's in the red zone. That's not good. And I asked my doctor, I'm like, my A1C is low. And she's like, that's a good thing, actually. Even though it's in the red on this.
Mind. Do you mind saying?
I can look up. It's not terribly low. It's like just barely below the
it's
normal
like 4.8, 4.9 or whatever.
Let's see. Let's violate HIPAA on air live.
You're not violating it if you tell me.
HIPAA when I'm doing it myself.
No, it is not.
If your mom told me, then you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, she hacks into my phone and lets everyone know what my A1C was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked her, and she's like, even though it's in the red zone where you are, it's actually a good thing because it means your blood sugar levels are actually very, very healthy.
Oh, that's good.
Well, he's looking at that up. Does anyone, maybe for your audience, I'll explain what an A1C is. It's an average of 3 months. So your blood keeps score, and they can look at your blood and tell you what it is over 3 months. Now, if you hit 5.6, that is what they used to call diabetic. So if you were at 5.5, they would say pre-diabetic. Mm-hmm. And now if you're 5.6, you were diabetic. And I'm telling you that for a reason, because we're getting ready to go into semaglutides. But what is it? What was your
4.7, so 0.1 below normal range, which is
you and I are about the same. I'm always 4.6 to 4.8, somewhere in there. Folks, that's where you want to be. He's a very healthy man. His blood sugars are low. I'm telling you, your insulin levels are, you're not spiking your insulin constantly. You're not getting a glycogen load from, carbs, the ones the dietitians call good carbs.
It's all soda. It's because I don't drink soda. I would bet 90% of people's A1C is bad because of soda specifically.
And you're right, because it's number one, it goes through the stomach so fast, it gets to the liver, your body releases tons of insulin, it drives the A1C up. It's soda and it's beer and it's wine. It's those three. Those three
sugary liquids, because you absorb them so much more quickly.
Yeah, you do.
And your body just can't handle that, because you can only process so much of anything, like so much per hour.
I know, it's amazing. If you have a glass of wine, or 3 sips of white wine on an empty stomach, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's true.
It goes right. It's amazing how fast it goes through you.
Vinny, what time do you have to hit the road? Can you stay for several more minutes?
The longer I stay, the better, because I was outside cutting grass, and when I leave here, I have to go back outside and cut grass.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll stretch it out for you. Take a break.
What's the temperature where you are?
Today it's in the 70s. I'm in Virginia.
Nice.
It's feeling like fall. I'm getting ready for football, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, it's in the 60s low. It's the 50s a low here. And we're like, holy crap, all of a sudden it's fall.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful today.
Tom, are you going into ads right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, can I walk away for like 1 minute and come back?
Absolutely. You can walk away for 3 minutes if you'd like.
All right. I'll talk to you guys in a minute.
Talk to you in a minute. Let me tell you about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust. That's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998. They've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community, and you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that know you and your situation and are always ready to help. So if you're tired of the big national banks and want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For Brad, John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Brad Sean Bryant.
It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility. It has a full nursing team that's always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I still got to figure it out. And Vinny, I might have brought this up a little bit, but all night long I slept really well. and I dreamt all night long about how I literally dreamt about how we've got to get the far right and the far left to calm down and stop feeding on people and harming people with their speech and all the rest of it. And then I wake up and find out about an hour later that 20 people have been shot about 2 miles from here. It was just a very weird day. I slept really well. Want to tell the people. Matter of fact, I posted a number of things on X this morning about it. And some people were like, oh, why are you got to be like, no. We have to make our community more safe. And we cannot have our politicians going off like nut jobs because it influences far too many not very bright people to do some really bad things.
Yeah. I never talk about which side I'm on, the right or the left, because, it doesn't help anyone.
Right.
No.
The one thing I do, Tom, I couldn't agree with you more. It used to be where if you were on the left, you could be friends with people on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you don't get invited to dinner or parties, or you're considered a kook. And that goes both ways, right? Mm-hmm. And, and you mentioned the key word, the far right and the far left.
Yes.
Right? And I think that 95% of us live in the middle.
Yes.
And, and look, I didn't agree when, Letitia James went after Trump with this crazy lawsuit. I was like, what are you doing? There was no crime here. She ran on a ticket of, I'm going to get Trump.
Yep.
Okay, I thought that was wrong. And now the reverse is happening. Trump is going after Letitia James, right? And so you sit there and you go, all right, I don't know if this is right either, but I get why they do it.
Yeah, it's like it only takes so much.
So you sit there and you go, okay, we're tying the president of the free world up in court over $500 million.
Right. And
now we're firing this person. Now they're going after the woman who's the head, the woman in the Fed off, with the money. And you see all these different things happening and you're going, they're supposed to be there to work for us. Is anything getting done on that front?
They don't care anymore.
That's always my question.
They don't care anymore.
No. It's all, as soon as they get in, it's about the next election.
Yep.
So, yeah. And yeah, as soon as you said that, this has been weighing on me ever since you mentioned the school shooting, I was still reeling from the woman who I'm sure you guys saw this. It went viral. These two people were walking down the street and somehow they got in a scuffle with a bunch of people one night and the woman gets knocked out cold. Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
And while she's on the ground, another woman just comes along and kicks her in the head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder about that person, the woman who kicked her in the head. It's like, I don't know why this fight started. I don't know why this woman is out cold on the ground, but what's in it for you to come along and kick someone who's down? What world is that?
Well, I'll tell you what's in it for them is 5 to 10 years in prison, because in a lot of jurisdictions, kicking someone in the head while they're down is attempted murder. Or if they die, it's murder.
It should be. Yes.
Yep, it absolutely should be.
I agree.
You do not kick someone in the head unless your intention is to kill them.
Although we do have, a revolving door for criminals. They don't seem to go to jail for very long. They don't even have to have bail anymore. It's just nuts.
I've never understood that no bail or no cash. Is it called no cash something or whatever?
No cash bail, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know by me saying this, it might sound political, and I don't give a rat's ass if it does.
Yes.
You can't, if there's nothing in it for the criminal, if you're just going to take him and process him and put him on the street, then what have we done? Who's safe? No one's safe.
Yeah, if you tell someone there's no consequences for this, then they're going to be like, okay, I will keep doing it then. Thank you.
And they do.
In Hollywood, comedian Jimmy Kimmel, he has a steakhouse. I've been to it with Adam Perry Lang, celebrity chef. and they have the steakhouse, and you go there, and they say, "Would you like to enjoy the felony knife?" And I'm like, "The what?" And they said, "The really nice knives we have. We call it the felony knife." And I was like, "Well, thank you, Catherine."
What?
Because that was my question. I said, "I would like to use a felony." I thought they were going to give me a knife that was part of a felony.
Used in a murder or something.
Yeah, what?
Which is weird
Sure
in
your wife
itself.
Yeah, what a weird.
It's an expensive knife that costs like $1,000 because in California, they decided that anything up to $998, you can steal all you want.
Yeah.
That's a misdemeanor. Anything
So it's a
over
felony.
that is a felony.
There you go.
Oh.
So in their restaurants, their knives won't get stolen. They have to tell people you're getting a felony knife.
Mhm. And you know what? I bet there would be a market for these true crime weirdos where
Yeah.
people make food using knives that have been used to kill people.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Don't even bring that up.
Start that market, someone.
Don't even bring
You'll
that
be a
up.
millionaire.
Yuck.
You'll also probably
So
Well, you should give
your
Elon
soul will
Musk a call
evaporate,
because
but-
he wants to start a third party. You could be head of that party.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Wait, hang on. I want to go with this for a second. It's like you're in a restaurant, you go, "Hey, can I have the Ted Bundy?" Ooh, it's being used, but we do we do have the BTK.
Yeah, there you go.
Ugh.
There's a lot of people who are weirdly into that sort of
Oh
thing.
God, yeah.
It's all they consume is just listening
absolutely.
to stories about people being murdered and kidnapped, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with some people?
I think some people see it as like then I can avoid it because I'll know
Suppose, yeah.
Oh.
That
how
would
it
be
works,
nice.
kind of
Maybe.
thing. I don't know.
Well, women have a problem because they put all this true crime stuff and it's aimed right at women.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah, like the 48 hours, the 2020, the Dateline. That's all aimed at women, and because women are protective, right? And you see this, and you go, "Oh my God, I will never let my kid walk out of the house." Right? So this creates a whole brand new problem. They think this, oh, it happened there. It can happen anywhere.
We were just
Because
talking about
every
that
one of
actually,
those-
earlier in this show. We were talking about how, the shooting, that's what everyone's going to do is no one's going to go to mass anymore. And when Alex and I were kids, there was a high profile kidnapping in Minnesota and everyone locked their kids inside and said, "You don't talk to strangers ever.
Right.
You stay. We have to know where you are at all
Yeah,
times."
and now like
Have
we're
to have
all
eyes
worried
on you.
about our kids being stolen all the time,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't.
And that's how, and
happen, but
then
it's
that's
just
what
like
true crime is
that's-
creating a new wave of
Yeah, it
women
does
who
happen.
think that if you
Not-
go outside of your house, you are going to be kidnapped by a lunatic.
Vinny, what we're lucky in this market because that went on. What Andy was just talking about went on, and I wouldn't even say her name because she went through so much, and it was unbelievable. Years and years before they found out why someone killed her son, and she came in and did the podcast. What, about 3 times a year, something like that?
Yeah.
Her first name is Patty, or should I even say her name?
Yeah, she's been very
Yeah.
open about it for
Patty Wetterling
forever.
was her name.
Yeah,
And her son was massacred. He was 9 years old, I
I
think.
think he was 9.
I think he was
They
9.
find-
10.
And what, how 15, 20 years it took to find the killer?
Yeah, at least.
Let's see. When did they find?
Vinny was unbelievable. This guy,
Because he was kidnapped in 1989
Oh
at the age of
my
11.
God, 89.
11, okay.
And they found his remains in 2016.
God.
Yeah, almost
amazing?
30 years later.
But to spend time sitting in the same room as Patty Wetterling and see how strong that woman is and what she's been through. I mean, how someone can even think of harming another human being, I will never understand. It makes harming, not only just killing them, but just harming them in the first place.
Much less a kid.
Like, calm down.
Well, we can say calm down, but again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's mental health and is not being treated.
Yes.
Look, we're never going to stop a Ted Bundy, right? These people
that's
flying to the radar. We're never going to, any of these kind of super crazy people. We're never going to catch them and stop them, whatever. But someone in that neighborhood, usually when it's someone like that, the 9-year-old is someone who knows the family, right?
Yeah.
Remember the girl in Utah a few years ago? It was, she came back alive. She escaped or whatever. It's someone who knew the family, who was working for the dad and the whole thing. We have to be more on top of this stuff. And I know hindsight is 20/20 on all of it, but it breaks my heart every time. It just really does.
Vinny, we got to have you on more often. This has been too long, man. There was too many months in there.
You say that every time. I'm available whenever you guys want.
Okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Wait a minute.
Today's a tough day to get through without it always revolving back to the violence in Minneapolis.
It's true. It's absolutely
violent
true.
episode today.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking that up in 2 seconds when this is over with.
Well, Vinny, we'll be reaching out to you if you can be on. I love talking to you about this because you've been through it all. You've seen it all, like some of us here, and it's just good to have you and Kristen on the day when this horrible thing happened. Was quite an honor and very nice of you. And I want to tell
thanks
you
for hanging in there.
Yes. So come back soon, Vinny. Well, Andy, reach out to him immediately.
I don't know if I feel like it.
Vinny,
it's a lot of work.
Andy, Alex, Tom, Catherine, it was great talking to you guys. And just call me whenever. I'm around.
It's one of those days. It's horrible, but you made it a lot better by just being here. So thank you.
I have to say, I am disappointed in both our listeners and Vinny because no one has complimented our cool new art.
You got your cool new art.
Although Vinny wouldn't have known, I suppose.
I can't tell what it is. It looks like
it's just shapes and colors. It's literally just
it's modern.
Yeah.
Very modern.
Yeah, but you can see there's like sound paneling back there.
Yeah,
I put the art up so you're just not looking at like this kind of janky-ish sound paneling.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, we do what we can.
We do what we can.
All right, well, take some of that in those bottles right behind your right side of your head there, and.
Well, a good thing to do is go mow the lawn and weed whack.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to put my headphones on and I'm going to listen to the Tom Bernard show because why not?
Why not? I love it. Well, thank you, Vinny, and we will seriously. We got to talk to you very soon. You do a terrific job, and thank you for that. How do people find your podcast?
You can go to VinnieTortorich.com, TORTORICH, or just look up Vinnie Tortorich and on your Google machine, and all of my stuff comes up. All of the documentaries, my book. We have almost 3,000 podcasts we've done in the past 13 years.
Yeah.
And we've helped millions of people lose hundreds of millions of pounds. So, yeah.
Trying to do the art. Yes,
not black shapes.
Yeah, there are black shapes everywhere. That is not the black shape.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right, Vinny, we'll talk to you soon, Pally. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Vinnie Tortorich is the best in the business, no question about it.
He's still there and he can hear you.
Back. Oh, good. I'm glad he can hear me. I tell him how wonderful he is. That's a good thing. There you go. We'll be right back right after this. Let's talk about Jack's, family owned since 1933, an original Minneapolis steakhouse, a place to celebrate and create memories for over 90 years. Just minutes from Target Field for a pre or post game meal. Perfect prime rib, serving steaks, chops, and fresh seafood. You can even net your own trout from Jack's Garden Stream and have it prepared for you minutes later. You can enjoy happy hour in the bar and on award-winning patio. It is a wonderful place. Sunday, that's Wednesday through Sunday. Private party rooms from $25 to $275, perfect for weddings, groom's dinner, business dinners, or all celebrations. Weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. Jack's the godfather of Northeast. This year, the magic is calling you like never before at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival. We got to get the family out there. One of these days it'll be wonderful. 16 stages filled with sword fighting, fire breathing, music, magic, juggling, and more. Delicious food and drink fit for a Viking, like the hearty turkey leg. It is wonderful. Craft your own magic at the Wicked Wand Workshop and race for glory at the Ninja Warrior Challenge. Don't miss the live armored jousting. And the marketplace is a shopper's dream. There's something for everyone in the Renaissance Festival, their magical village. What are we doing?
people are linking things in the chat room. There's allegedly the shooter's identity has been released, but I have to confirm it before I say anything.
Okay. There's something for everyone in the Renaissance Festival's Magical Village. The Minnesota Renaissance Festival weekends August 16th through September 28th. Don't miss the adventure. Get your tickets at renaissancefest.com.
Also, it's okay. I don't think the Ren Fest will be mad about their commercial being interrupted because it was not on the schedule.
Oh, what was it?
So that was a freebie for you guys.
What wasn't on the schedule?
It was recruitment, not Renaissance.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So I got to do recruitment too.
I mean, I don't know.
What?
Technically, we're not beholden to anyone for that one.
Well, that's true.
That's just like one of those.
We'll do it tomorrow.
That's one of those for ourselves.
God, you're right. I forgot about that. It was the wrong deal. But hey, you know what? I do want to get the entire family out to the Renaissance Fest. This year runs for what, like 4 more weeks or something?
I think it's through the end of October.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Is it that long?
October?
Yeah.
It's weekends only, right?
Mid-October. It's, I think, Thursday through Sunday or Friday through Sunday.
Yeah, we got to get out there.
Yeah, I don't know I think the last time I went was like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago.
God,
we went,
so much
I think,
fun.
2 years ago.
We went last year. I did an appearance. Matter of fact, I did an appearance there last year. I'll probably do that again. So thank you guys for being so good about this. But it was just so weird that I dreamt about this kind of thing and how people need to be nice to each other all night long. And then I wake up and an hour or two later find out that some guy shot 20 people.
Well, the latest and great news is 2 children ages 8 and 10 were killed in the shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church and School.
Well, he shot with a rifle through the church windows.
They were killed during a mass marking the start of school. Yeah, he had a rifle. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. And then the gunman took his own life.
Well, he did kill himself.
He's in his 20s and did not have an extensive criminal history.
He was in his 20s? Does it say early, mid, late, or anything like that?
In his 20s.
Well, I am seeing a couple reports that pretty much confirm that this was a targeted anti-Catholic, anti-right-wing attack. But like I said, I'm not
Catholic, what does that have to do with right wing?
Well, just Christianity, religion,
exactly.
generally.
Well, people are very mad at Catholics right now because there's too many of them in the Supreme Court, apparently, and that's a horrible, horrible thing.
So, Andy, what's the kid's name? What's the guy's name?
I'm not going to verify anything until I get like this 100% solid.
Like Vinnie said, don't say his name.
Well, that's true. You also don't need the name. But like, I don't know.
I know, but
the information that's out there that I have not confirmed confirms basically all my suspicions if it is true. But
okay, only a couple of more minutes. Oh, go ahead, sir.
We'll probably know by tomorrow for sure. Because, I mean, local news is, if this is true, they're going to keep this under wraps for as long as they possibly can.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it confirms that demonizing half of the people in the world and saying that all Christians are hateful monsters who want to take your rights away is the cause of this shooting.
Yep.
And I mean, if that is the case, then honestly, I think our leaders need to be held
definitely not what Jesus says to do. So
I was just talking about it this morning. Again, like I said, we need some new leaders who don't harm people with their speech, because that's what this is all about.
Catherine's talking
you're this, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're this, you don't like black people.
Like,
you guys were 10 minutes almost over. What are you doing?
Jude is literally knocking at the door.
He's literally, if you can.
Why are you knocking at the door?
If we listen closely, we might be able to hear him.
You're too far over.
Almost 10 minutes.
All right.
To talk about.
It's kind of big news today, Jude, if it's okay with you.
He doesn't like bad news.
I don't think he could care less about what we have to say.
You don't want to hear any bad news.
Unless it's
all right. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for your comments. They really did help today, because it just shows we have a very caring audience, and I appreciate that.
Tough day.
So we will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
We're standing up.
Every time I hear the singing, reminds me how you talk in my door.